What if the storms raging within your mind could be stilled by wisdom forged 2,000 years ago? What if the voices that tell you to worry, to despair, to lose yourself, could be silenced by truths so old they stand like unbroken chains across the centuries? You who come here troubled, worn, uncertain, know this. Your mind has been poisoned by illusions, by pressures, by fears that grow like thorns in your soul. But here, through the ancient therapy of Stoicism, you will discover not empty motivational noise, but something far rarer. A path to clarity, a way to heal your mind as a physician heals the body, with discipline, courage, and reason. This is not a soft lullaby to calm you for one night. This is the voice of Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, speaking through time, telling you how to stand unbroken in a world that breaks the faint-hearted. Subscribe and stay until the final words, for every idea here is a brick in the fortress you must build around your soul. Miss even one, and your defenses will remain incomplete. Watch until the end, and you will possess a weapon that no one can steal from you, the power to command your own mind. Listen closely. You are not alone in your doubts. You are not cursed for feeling lost. These ancient teachers walked the same dark valleys, their hearts burdened by fear, their minds clawed by worry, yet they discovered a way through, and their teachings survived fire, war, betrayal, and centuries of forgetting, precisely because they work. In the coming wisdom, you will find ideas to protect you from anxiety, to shield you from envy, to rescue you from hopelessness, to return you to yourself. You will learn to think like a warrior of reason, to accept the harsh winds of life without being blown away, to welcome pain as a teacher, and to greet even death with the calm of a soul no longer enslaved by fear. When you leave this video, you will leave stronger, clearer, calmer, a citizen of the world, unshaken by the chaos of its storms. Now let us begin. So many who listen to my voice right now are chained, though their hands are free. They wake in the morning already burdened by unseen weights. They walk through their days wrapped in an invisible fog, haunted by regrets of the past and fears of a future they cannot control. It is a strange imprisonment. The walls are made of your own thoughts, and the jailer is your own mind. But remember these words of Epictetus. It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. The world does not put you in chains. You do that. A storm passes, the sea calms again, but your mind stays in uproar because you do not know how to still it. Hear me. No one is coming to rescue you. There is no wizard with a potion, no friend who can reach into your chest and heal the chaos. The only one who can break those chains is you. The Stoics knew that when the mind becomes a tyrant, it will rule you more cruelly than any emperor. You must be your own liberator. Perhaps you fear losing your job, or you lie awake terrified of sickness, or you tremble at the thought of growing old. These are the illusions that feed your suffering. A Stoic looks at these things and strips them bare, as a sculptor reveals a statue from the block of stone. Ask yourself, what is the worst that could happen? If you lost everything you owned, would you still be you? If tomorrow brought you a disease, would you still have your character, your courage, your mind? Marcus Aurelius, who commanded the greatest army of his age, still sat alone at night, asking, if I lost this power, if I lost this empire, what would remain? And he answered himself with fierce honesty, only my reason, only my virtue. These alone are yours, and no tyrant, no plague, no betrayal can steal them from you. Imagine a lone traveler crossing a scorched plain carrying a heavy pack. With each step the burden grows until he staggers. In frustration he tears open the pack to see what is inside, and finds only stones, useless and worthless. These stones are your imagined fears, your clinging to what you cannot control. Why do you carry them? Throw them down. Walk lighter. Perhaps you tell yourself, but my fears are real. The dangers are real. And I answer you as Seneca answered his students. Yes, danger is real, but fear is a choice. The soldier knows arrows may fall, but if he panics, he is already dead before the arrow strikes. If he stands calm, he may yet live. So must you stand, calm in the face of what may come. You may say, that is too hard. How can I simply drop my fears? It begins with a practice so simple a child could learn it. Every morning, remind yourself what you truly control and what you do not. Your thoughts, your words, your actions, these belong to you. The weather, the opinions of others, the movements of fate, these do not. Anchor yourself in what you control, and you will feel your chains weaken. Look around you, friend. The world will keep howling, the storms will keep blowing, but you are free to think rightly. In that alone lies perfect freedom. Think of a fire that cannot be extinguished because it is fed by the very winds that try to put it out. Become that fire. Let your challenges feed you, not consume you. If people insult you, let it train your patience. If money fails you, let it train your frugality. If you fall ill, let it train your courage. Nothing is wasted to the Stoic mind. Everything is fuel. Pause now and look within. What weighs on you today? Name it, as you would name an enemy before you fight. Then ask, is this in my control or beyond it? If it is beyond, release it. If it is within, act with calm determination. That simple act of separating the controllable from the uncontrollable is a sword that cuts through the ropes that bind you. It is a skill, not a miracle, and skills are forged by repetition. Every day, practice this division. When worries crowd you like wolves, drive them off with reason. When anger rises like floodwater, drain it with perspective. When sorrow tries to drown you, float on the surface of your values, refusing to sink. I tell you truly, if you master this one lesson, you will walk through life unshaken. You will sleep without nightmares, rise without dread, and stand tall even in the ruins of your broken plans. This is the first therapy of the ancient Stoics, the medicine of reason. Take it each day as you would take a physician's tonic. Watch how the fog begins to clear, how your heart grows steady, how the storms of your mind break apart. And if these words have reached you, if you feel even a spark of hope reigniting, let that hope be tended like a sacred flame. Share this teaching. Pass it on. There are so many stumbling blind in their own minds who might yet be saved by this light. If you would help build a world of stronger souls, then like and subscribe, not as a hollow gesture, but as a vow to stand with us on this road of courage and reason. There is a pain that burns sharper than hunger or cold, a wound that festers unseen, a poison that seeps through the walls of the heart, the cruelty of other people. You, who listen, know it well. You have felt the sting of betrayal, the scorn of ungrateful friends, the twisted words of liars. You have tasted the bitterness of being misunderstood, of giving your kindness only to have it turned against you. And so you suffer, not from swords, but from tongues. These are the arrows that pierce the mind deeper than any iron. Yet I tell you, these arrows only wound you if you allow them to. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has been wronged that is miserable, but the man who feels that he has been wronged." There, in those words, lies your shield. No insult can break your peace if you refuse to grant it power. The cruel word is only wind. It becomes poison only when you swallow it. I have seen emperors torn apart by gossip, their minds shattered by rumors, though they commanded legions. I have seen merchants undone by a single lie, their honor crumbling because they could not bear to be mocked. And I have seen a poor laborer stand unshaken while others laughed at him, because he measured himself by his own standards, not theirs. You must learn to hold your own judgment above the world's. When they spit at you, ask, does this truly define me? When they scorn you, ask, am I truly the thing they accuse me of being? If you answer no, then stand firm. Their words are nothing but shadows on a wall. Remember this, insults are most painful to those who secretly agree with them. A man who is called a coward will ache if he fears he is a coward, but a man who knows he is brave will feel nothing, as if a child had thrown a stone that fell short of its mark. Strength begins in self-honesty. Examine yourself with a surgeon's precision, see your flaws clearly, correct them if you can, and then walk proudly, knowing you are beyond the reach of rumor. Picture a traveler walking a narrow path through a howling mob. They throw stones, but he shields himself with a cloak woven from his own values. Each stone glances off, each jeer is lost on the wind, because he answers to a deeper measure than their rage. You must become that traveler. You may say, but their words hurt me. Of course they do. You are human, but you are also something greater. You are a reasoning being, and reason can overcome even the fires of humiliation. Next time you are insulted, pause, breathe, ask yourself, is what they say true? If yes, thank them for revealing a fault you might correct. If no, then see the words as the mad barking of a stray dog, nothing more. Their anger is theirs, their blindness is theirs, and you have no duty to share in their poison. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning, today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. He expected it, and so he was not surprised. And because he expected it, he was prepared. Why do you expect any different? Are humans today less flawed than they were in the time of Rome? Train yourself to wake with the same armor. Say to yourself, today someone will be cruel. Today someone will lie. Today someone will insult me. Then you will stand ready. They will not catch you unguarded, and their arrows will break against your shield. You will find this power grows stronger with practice. At first, you may still flinch when mocked, That is natural. But each day, remind yourself, I answer to my own conscience. Each day, weigh your actions on your own scale, not the world's. Slowly, the words of others will lose their poison, like a sword striking an unbreakable stone. In time, you will be free of them. You will walk through the market, through the halls of power, through the streets of your enemies, untouched. But there is another secret, deeper still. When others attack you, see them as sick souls. For what man harms another who is healthy in spirit? Who insults, if he is content? Who schemes, if he is secure? They are wounded, and their wounds make them lash out. Pity them rather than hate them. This is the higher path. Seneca taught, it is the part of a great soul to treat injuries lightly and insults with patience. Let this be your law. Let others rage and claw like beasts. You will stand as a mountain, unshaken by their storms. If you can do this, you will possess a freedom even kings envy, the freedom to live without being ruled by the opinions of others. Ask yourself now, whose words still chain you? Whose insults still echo in your mind? Why do you let them dwell there, unchallenged? Name them, expose them, and then cast them out. Let their power wither in the light of your reason. This is the second therapy of the ancient Stoics, the shield of your own judgment. Hold it high. Let it defend the fortress of your peace. If these truths awaken something in you, share them. Tell your friends, your brothers, your sisters, so they too might rise beyond the cruelty of others. And if you have not yet subscribed to this path, do so now. Not for me, but for you, so these lessons may find you again and again, until they are carved into your spirit like words upon stone. There is a sorrow so heavy it bends the spine, a loss so deep it hollows the heart like a dying star. You, who listen now, may carry such grief within you, a loved one taken, a dream shattered, a hope that withered before it bloomed. Grief is the mightiest of all storms, for it strikes at what is most human in us, our love. No philosophy worth the name would ever tell you to feel nothing. The Stoics never asked you to become stone. They wept, they mourned, they bled, but they refused to be broken. Seneca wrote, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." He meant this not in despair, but in courage. Life is loss, but loss is not the end of our spirit. I have seen mothers bury their children, soldiers bury their brothers, kings bury their queens. The world does not spare us these wounds. Yet I have also seen some rise after such blows, stand again, carry on with clearer eyes and a steadier heart. How? They did not deny their grief, nor did they wallow in it. They accepted its sting as the price of love. They saw that every bond we form must someday break, because the world itself is impermanent. You must love with a full heart, but love with eyes open, knowing that all you cherish will one day pass. Marcus Aurelius, after losing many of his own children, wrote, "Loss is nothing other than change." Hard words, but true. When someone dear to you dies, their form is changed, gone from the earth, but living in your memory, in your character, in the ways they shaped you. You do not truly lose them if you carry their virtues onward. Imagine a lone traveler crossing a wasteland. His companion falls, and the traveler must continue alone. He grieves, but he keeps walking, carrying the lessons, the memories, the shared laughter like a hidden torch that warms him in the darkness. This is how you must carry those you have lost. Not as dead weights to drag you down, but as light that guides you forward. You may feel it impossible. You may think, I cannot go on, but you can. Look back at the world. All things change, all things die, all things are reborn. The fields burn, yet green shoots return. The seas rage, yet calm returns. Nature renews itself, and you too can rise again. If you wish to honor the ones you have lost, then live well. That is their truest memorial. When you grow kinder, stronger, more disciplined, more just, you give shape to their memory. And what greater monument could you build for them than a life of virtue? Ask yourself, what would they wish for me? Would they have me broken and defeated? Or would they have me stand, breathing, living, trying again? In your darkest nights of grief, repeat these words of Epictetus. What is beyond my power is nothing to me. You could not prevent their death. You cannot reverse it, but you can choose your response to it. In that response lies your true freedom and your true courage. There is no shame in weeping. There is no shame in feeling pain, but let it flow through you like a bitter wind, and then let it pass. Do not let it bury you with the one you have lost. Every dawn is a reminder that you are still here, still breathing, still able to act. Let that day be used well, even in sadness. The Stoic is no stranger to tears, but the Stoic refuses to drown in them. Grief is a teacher, a harsh one, but a true one. It shows you what you love, what matters, what cannot be replaced. Let it refine you. Let it strip away petty concerns. Let it teach you to hold those who remain with more tenderness, more presence, more honesty, for you know they too shall pass. Reflect now. Whom do you still mourn? What would they tell you if they could stand before you? Would they plead for you to rise? Would they ask you to be strong? Listen to that imagined voice and take its counsel to heart. Then stand. Stand for them. Stand for yourself. Stand for all who have yet to see your best days. This is the third therapy of the ancient Stoics, the medicine of acceptance. You cannot master life until you master death, and you cannot master death until you learn to walk forward, even while carrying grief. If you have felt the truth of these words, share them. There are countless souls drowning in grief who might yet rise if someone extends a hand of reason. And if you wish to stay on this road with me, subscribe now. Not to follow a teacher, but to walk among equals, all of us trying to grow beyond our pain. There is a chain stronger than iron, a chain you forge yourself, link by link, until you cannot move, cannot breathe, cannot think freely. This chain is desire. It begins with a small wish, for pleasure, for comfort, for recognition, and before you know it, you are its slave. Look around, many rush from one distraction to the next, never at peace. How many cannot bear to sit alone with their thoughts for even a moment, so they chase pleasure after pleasure, feeding a hunger that only grows. They are free in body, but prisoners in spirit. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little who is poor, but the man who craves more." Desires have no limit. They multiply like weeds in an untended field. Satisfy one, and 5 more rise to take its place. Do you think wealth will free you? No, it only feeds more desire. Do you think fame will steady you? It will make you crave more applause, more praise, until you are terrified of losing it. The Stoics saw this trap clearly. They warned, what you desire, if uncontrolled, will own you. Picture a wolf, starved, lunging at scraps without thinking, biting even its own tail in madness. That is the modern soul, devouring every promise of happiness without question. But you are not a beast. You are a reasoning being. You can examine your desires, strip them of their power, and choose which to follow and which to destroy. You may say, but I want to live well. I want fine things, ease, rest. Of course, who does not? But the Stoic asks, at what price? If a soft bed costs you your courage, if wealth costs you your honor, if a lover costs you your peace, is the trade fair? Marcus Aurelius taught, the things you think you want are not always good for you. You must train yourself to see through appearances. The shining gold is sometimes poisoned. The sweet wine is sometimes drugged. The gentle voice is sometimes the tongue of a serpent. Imagine a lone traveler offered a meal on the road. He is hungry, weak, ready to eat anything, but the food is spoiled. If he devours it without care, he will be sicker than before. So he must pause, examine, test. That is what you must do with your desires. When something tempts you, pause. Ask, is this worthy of me? Will this make me stronger, wiser, freer? If yes, pursue it with discipline. If no, turn away, as you would turn away from poisoned food. Perhaps you crave admiration. That is a subtle poison. The moment you build your worth on others' praise, you become their slave. They pull your strings, you dance. They look away, you collapse. Perhaps you crave luxury. That is a velvet cage. You may live in a palace, but you fear losing it. Fear poverty. Fear any threat to your comforts. Better a small home with peace than a grand estate with terror in your heart. Seneca reminded us, no one is free who is a slave to his body. And how many today worship their bodies, their pleasures, their appetites, until they lose all self-command? Your desires are a wild horse. If you do not hold the reins, it will throw you, trample you, and leave you broken. But if you master it, you can ride with power, using your passions to serve virtue rather than destroy it. Ask yourself now, what do you chase without thinking? What hunger robs you of sleep? What dream drives you to desperation? Bring it into the light. Examine it, name it, judge it. Only then will you break its hold. Remember the words of Epictetus, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. Freedom not from laws or masters, but from the tyranny of your own passions. This is the fourth therapy of the Stoics, the taming of desire. With it, you will become rich, even with empty pockets, for your wealth will be measured not by what you own, but by what you can live without. There is a beauty in a simple life, in waking each morning with a calm mind, knowing no addiction rules you, no pleasure owns you, no applause enslaves you. That is the state of the Stoic sage, untouchable, unbought, unbroken. Look around your world, see how many live in chains, see how many bow to passing whims. Do you wish to be one of them, or do you wish to stand alone, proud and free? If you wish for freedom, practice simplicity, practice contentment, practice gratitude. These are the keys to a mind at peace. Reflect tonight. What one desire rules you? What would your life be without it? Would you stand stronger, taller, freer? If you feel these ideas loosening the chains around your heart, share them. Let others break free beside you. And if you have not yet subscribed, do so now. Not as a trivial act, but as a bond among those who refuse to be ruled by their own appetites. There is a shadow that follows every step of the human being, a whisper that chills the bones even in sunlight. Fear. Its hands are cold, its voice a liar, its power enormous, if you let it reign. Fear is the child of uncertainty. When you do not know what will come, when you see only darkness ahead, your mind invents terrors greater than any reality. How many have lived small, cowardly lives because fear told them to stay silent, to stay still, to stay hidden? The Stoics did not promise a life without danger. They promised the power to meet danger without trembling. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Consider those words. How many nights have you lost sleep to worries that never came true? How many hours have you wasted trembling over phantoms, only to find the moment of crisis passed quickly and painlessly? Fear is a storm you build inside yourself. It rises, howls, blinds you. Yet if you step back, if you watch it calmly, it cannot touch you. Imagine a lone traveler walking through a haunted valley at night. He hears noises, sees shapes in the gloom, feels his heart pound. But if he dares to light a lamp, he sees the shapes are bushes. The sounds are harmless winds, the path still clear beneath his feet. Fear is the darkness. Reason is the lamp. The first act of courage, then, is to look directly at what you fear. Name it. Describe it. Ask, what exactly do I think will happen? Bring its details into the light. The more precisely you define your fear, the weaker it grows. Perhaps you fear poverty. Then ask, what does poverty truly mean? That I will eat simpler food? That I will live in a smaller room? That I will lose praise from others? Are these things truly terrifying or merely inconvenient? Perhaps you fear sickness. Then ask, does illness strip me of my reason, of my virtue, of my courage? If not, then it cannot truly enslave you. Perhaps you fear death itself. Then remember the words of Marcus Aurelius, "It is a natural thing and nothing natural is evil. If death is nature, why tremble? You have lived many days in peace, knowing night must fall. So too will your last night come, and you will greet it as you have greeted every evening before." Fear shrinks when you face it. It feeds on running away. It feeds on silence. When you stand and say, "I see you," it withers. You must train yourself to rehearse fear, as a soldier rehearses for battle. Imagine the worst calmly again and again until it loses its claws. Seneca called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Do not flinch from picturing ruin, exile, hunger, death. See them clearly in your mind and prepare your soul. Then, when fate strikes, you will not be surprised. This is no grim obsession. It is the opposite. For once you know the worst, you are free to live boldly. Like a sailor who studies the storms before setting sail, you grow confident, not timid. Picture a man crossing a rope bridge high above a chasm. If he stares down at the abyss, if he trembles, he will fall. But if he fixes his mind on the next step, calmly, steadily, he will pass across in safety. So must you fix your mind on the next step, not the yawning void below. Ask yourself today, what do I fear most? Write it down, look at it, speak it aloud. Then ask, is this fear based on truth or shadows? Can I endure it if it comes? Most of the time you will discover you can. Fear will visit you, always. It is part of life. But you must treat it as an uninvited guest, never giving it rule over your house. Let it knock on your door, but do not let it sit at your table. Do not let it sleep in your bed. Do not let it decide where you walk. When you feel fear rising, breathe. Return to your reason. Repeat to yourself, I will deal with what comes when it comes. That is all the power anyone ever truly has. This is the fifth therapy of the Stoics, the conquest of fear through reason and rehearsal. If you have felt its truth, share these words. Let others who live haunted by shadows discover this light. And if you wish to stay with me on this path, subscribe. Not for the sake of numbers, but for the sake of building a community of the unafraid, the clear-minded, the free. There is a fire that can warm your heart or burn down your entire life. That fire is anger. Few forces are as swift, as intoxicating, as destructive. One careless moment, and you say the word you cannot unsay. You do the deed you cannot undo. You burn a bridge you cannot rebuild. You know its power. Perhaps you have felt it boiling in your chest, a righteous rage against betrayal, against insult, against cruelty. You may tell yourself that anger is your strength, that it is the flame that guards your dignity. But I tell you, if you let anger rule you, it will turn you from a free human into a wild beast. Seneca wrote entire books on anger, calling it a form of temporary madness. No plague has cost the human race more, he warned. Anger steals your reason, clouds your vision, makes you a puppet of your worst instincts. A Stoic does not deny that anger arises. It is a natural spark, part of your humanity. But you must master it the moment it lights, or it will grow into a blaze that consumes you. Imagine a lone traveler sitting beside a campfire on a cold night. He needs its warmth, but if he lets it spread, it will burn his tent, his food, everything he needs to survive. So he tends the flame carefully, feeding it with discipline, controlling it with respect. That is how you must manage your anger. You may say, but I am wronged. I must defend myself. And the Stoic agrees. Defend yourself, but with reason, not rage. A calm warrior strikes true. An enraged warrior strikes blindly. Ask yourself, whenever anger surges, what exactly is under threat? Is it my character? My reason? Usually it is only your pride, your illusions, your wounded vanity. Those are no treasures worth defending. When someone insults you, ask, have they truly harmed me? Or have they merely spoken air? Words cannot break your bones. Their sting is real only if you believe it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. When others burn with hatred, meet them with calm. When they lie, meet them with honesty. When they shout, meet them with silence. In this way, you prove your freedom. Think of a raging river after a storm, destroying fields, tearing up roots, carrying away homes. That is a soul ruled by anger. But think of a river, calm and steady, powering mills, bringing life to villages. That is a soul guided by reason. Next time you feel anger's fire in your blood, pause. Count your breaths. Ask, is this worthy of me? If the answer is no, let the flame die. If the answer is yes, if true injustice must be faced, then act with clarity, not violence of spirit. Act like a surgeon, not a berserker. Perhaps you are mocked. Remember, what is mocked cannot be changed by mocking. If you are wise, no words can diminish you. If you are foolish, no praise can save you. Perhaps you are betrayed. Remember, the betrayer reveals himself by his act, and the world will see him for what he is. You need not add your own fury to the stain. Perhaps you are slandered. Remember, time tests all lies. The truth stands patient, unafraid. Seneca told us, he who is angry is always wrong. Because once you surrender to rage, you are no longer the master of your soul. You may say, but if I do not show anger, people will think me weak. And I answer, there is nothing stronger than the man who stands unmoved in the face of insult, who replies to provocation with dignity, who controls himself when others cannot. That is the mark of power. Reflect now. What has anger cost you so far? Whom have you lost because of its flame? What peace has it stolen from your nights? What regrets has it left cooling in the ashes? Swear to yourself tonight, I will master this fire. This is the sixth therapy of the Stoics, the discipline of anger. With it, you will gain a power beyond the power to strike, the power to endure, to forgive, to remain unmoved while others howl. If these words strengthen you, share them. Help quench the wildfires burning in others. And if you have not yet subscribed, do so now, for together we stand stronger than alone, forging a shield of reason that no storm of rage can break. You may hear these truths and feel their force. But wisdom is not a single moment of awakening. Wisdom is a habit. It must be built and strengthened every day, or else it fades like morning mist beneath the sun. Seneca reminded us, philosophy is not an art of words, but of deeds. These lessons cannot remain in books or videos. They must live in your bones, guide your hands, shape your choices. That is why the Stoics built daily practices, small rituals to sharpen their minds and steady their hearts. Without practice, you will forget. You will wake one morning and anger will rule you again, or desire will slip its leash, or fear will clutch your heart as before. A mind left untrained decays, just as a sword left to rust becomes useless in battle. You must sharpen your reason daily. You must polish your courage daily. You must train your patience daily. Marcus Aurelius wrote every night, reflecting on what he had done, what he had failed to do, what he might improve tomorrow. That is your first discipline, self-examination. Each evening, pause. Ask, did I live by my values today? Where did I falter? Where did I stand firm? Do not flatter yourself. Be as severe as a general reviewing his troops after a failed campaign. Only then will you grow stronger. In the morning, prepare yourself. Before you leave your bed, remember Marcus's words. Today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. Expect trouble. Expect trials. Then you will not be surprised, and you will not be shaken. During the day, train your thoughts. When worry stirs, ask, is this in my control? When anger rises, ask, is this worthy of me? When grief returns, ask, what would a wise person do now? You may think this is too much, that you have no time for these reflections, but what is your mind worth, if not the highest attention? You polish your shoes, you feed your body, you maintain your home. Why not maintain your soul? Imagine a lone traveler carrying a lamp through a dark forest. Each night he cleans the glass, each day he trims the wick, so that when night falls again, he will not stumble. That lamp is your reason. Neglect it, and you will walk blind. Seneca taught his students to rehearse poverty, to sleep sometimes on the floor, to eat only coarse bread, to remind themselves that even the worst fate is endurable. These small acts of voluntary hardship make you free, for what you have rehearsed cannot frighten you. You do not need to live in ruin to practice. But once a week, deny yourself something you crave. Once a week, rise earlier than you wish. Once a week, speak less than you desire. These tiny disciplines build an unbreakable will. The modern world will tempt you to drift, to become passive, to let the tide of endless entertainment wash over your mind. But a Stoic stands vigilant, steering his ship even when the sea seems calm. Ask yourself now, what daily practices do I lack? Where am I weakest? Write it down. Make a vow to begin tomorrow, or better yet, this very hour. This is the seventh therapy of the ancient Stoics, the discipline of daily practice. Without it, all other lessons crumble. With it, you build a fortress that no wind of fate can topple. If these thoughts light a fire in you, share them. Pass them on to those who wish to live awake, not sleepwalking. And if you have not subscribed yet, do so now, not to flatter me, but to anchor yourself among others on this path of self-mastery. There is no truth more feared, no reality more hidden from modern eyes than the certainty of death. Like children covering their ears, people refuse to speak of it, to look at it, to plan for it, yet every road leads there. Every breath is a step closer. Every life ends in the same silence. Why should you tremble before what is most natural? Why should you deny the one guest who never fails to come? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Death smiles at us all. All we can do is smile back." These are not cold words, but words of supreme courage. To accept death is to break the final chain of fear, to stand fully free. Consider how much of your suffering comes from trying to pretend you will live forever. You chase pleasures because you fear time is short. You cling to people because you fear their loss. You guard your fragile pride because you think every insult is eternal. But if you remember death each day, these illusions lose their power. Seneca taught, rehearse death. Do not shrink from imagining your last moment. Let it teach you how to live. For once you see the limits of your time, you will stop wasting it. Think of a soldier who knows the dawn may be his last. He sharpens his blade, embraces his comrades' praise, and fights with a clear heart. He does not tremble, for he has already made peace with his fate. That is how you must walk through life. Every sunrise is a gift, but also a reminder. You have this day, and no promise of another. So live it as if it were your last, with a fierce honesty, a steady courage, a tender gratitude for every breath. You may ask, but what if death is painful? It may be, but pain passes. Even the deepest pain ends when life ends. You have survived many wounds before, and you will survive your final wound by dissolving into what made you. You may ask, what if I lose all I love? You will. But you will also carry their memory forward, and nothing beautiful you have lived is wasted. All becomes part of the earth, of the story of humankind, of the memory of your spirit. Picture a lone traveler who reaches the last gate of a walled city. He turns, looks at the road he has walked, at the mountains crossed, at the rivers forded, at the friends met and lost. Then he passes through the gate without hesitation. That is death. A gate you must step through, without terror, knowing you have traveled your path with dignity. Epictetus told his students, I cannot escape death, but I can escape the fear of it. And that is all the difference between a slave and a free soul. Ask yourself now, if I died tomorrow, would I regret the way I lived today? If the answer is yes, then change, now, this very hour. Death is a teacher who waits for no excuses. Make peace with your end, write your farewells, speak your gratitude, forgive your enemies, leave nothing unsaid, no kindness withheld, no courage untested. When you can look death in the eye and say, I am ready, you will have discovered the final therapy of the Stoics, the acceptance of mortality. There is a freedom here beyond measure. A man who no longer fears death cannot be threatened, cannot be bought, cannot be enslaved. He is beyond the reach of any tyrant, any misfortune, any tragedy. That, friend, is the summit of Stoic wisdom. To live each day as a complete life, to to fear no end because you have lived rightly, to stand as the Stoics stood, unbroken in the face of the final darkness. If these words light a lantern within you, share them. Let others find courage to face the same truth. And if you have not yet joined me fully on this journey, subscribe now, not to follow, but to stand side by side with others who refuse to run from their destiny. You have now walked through the great trials of the mind, the pain of others, grief, desire, fear, anger, the discipline of daily practice, and the acceptance of death itself. But these are not lessons meant for isolation or dusty scrolls hidden in silent libraries. They are meant to be lived, breathed, acted upon in every moment, in the humblest tasks and the grandest duties alike. Philosophy is not a distant mountain to be climbed once and forgotten. It is the road beneath your feet, the light that guides your steps, the anchor that holds you steady in every storm. Consider how Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while wrestling with the same struggles you face. How Seneca wrote letters to friends amid exile, teaching them how to live well in the darkest prisons. Stoicism is not a theory, but a practice for the living. In your work, bring reason and virtue. Let ambition not be greed, but a desire to serve well. Let your efforts be measured not by praise or profit alone, but by the integrity you maintain. When obstacles arise, as they will, do not curse fate, but meet challenges as a craftsman meets the imperfections of his materials, shaping them patiently into a masterpiece. In your relationships, practice patience and kindness. Remember that others are flawed, confused, often struggling as you do. Do not expect perfection. Offer understanding. When anger rises, pause. When insult stings, forgive. Show love not only in grand gestures but in small daily acts. A listening ear, a calm word, a shared silence. In your family, be a pillar of strength and gentleness. Teach children by example, not just words. Show them how to face fear, how to master desire, how to rise from failure. The family is the first school of virtue. Make it a place where courage and honesty grow like trees reaching toward the sun. Imagine your life as a weaving of many threads. Work, family, friends, self, each colored by the principles you have learned. If one thread breaks, the whole fabric weakens. Tend every part with care, so that your life becomes a seamless garment of wisdom. Ask yourself now, how can I bring Stoicism into my daily habits? Where can I act with more courage, patience, or honesty today? Seneca said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Let this be your guide. Do not postpone virtue for another day. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Begin now with what you have, where you are. The greatest victory is to live fully in the present, holding fast to reason while the world swirls around you. If you have felt this teaching ignite a fire in your heart, share it with those you love. Let others walk this path beside you, so you may support one another in growth. And if you have not yet subscribed, do so now, not as a gesture, but as a commitment to keep learning, keep growing, keep striving toward the best version of yourself. As the ancient fires of Stoicism burn steadily within you, a new challenge arises. How to carry this wisdom into a world that seems often designed to scatter your mind, shake your peace, and tempt your spirit toward chaos. The ancient therapy you have embraced is not an escape from modern life. It is a way to transform it. The modern world is like a vast ocean, restless and unpredictable. Technology rushes like currents, pulling you this way and that. Social pressures roar like storm winds seeking to drown your quiet voice. Endless information crashes over you like waves threatening to overwhelm your reason. Yet the Stoic heart remains a lighthouse amid this tempest. It does not deny the storm, but guides through it, steady and unwavering. Seneca, writing centuries before smartphones and endless news cycles, warned of distraction and superficial pleasures. He taught that true wealth lies not in abundance of things, but in mastery of self. In practical terms, this means guarding your attention as a precious treasure. When you scroll endlessly, reacting to every ping and alert, you lose the calm clarity the Stoics prized. Train yourself to step away, to breathe deeply, to return to the present moment with full awareness. In your work, bring the same Stoic calm. Do not allow stress or haste to fracture your focus. Approach every task with care, every challenge with reason. Remember Marcus Aurelius's words, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Even small acts done with virtue are worth more than grand achievements done with haste and compromise. In relationships, be present fully. The ancient Stoics prized friendship as a school of virtue. They understood that only through others can we test our patience, courage, and kindness. Resist the modern temptation to treat people as distractions or trophies. See them as mirrors, as fellow travelers on the road to wisdom. When conflict arises, and it will, recall the lessons of anger and fear. Speak calmly, listen deeply, forgive quickly. In a world hungry for instant gratification, practice patience and simplicity. Find joy in small moments. A clear sky, a warm meal, a meaningful conversation. Let your desires be measured, your pleasures chosen, your mind unchained. Ask yourself daily, how does my life reflect the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance? What habits serve me? What habits enslave me? This is the living heart of Stoicism in the modern world, an unshakable foundation amid shifting sands. It will not solve every problem, but it will give you the tools to face them with strength, clarity, and peace. Reflect now. What one modern distraction will I set aside to reclaim my focus? What one relationship will I nurture with Stoic care? If these words kindle a light in you, share them with others wandering in the storm. And if you have not yet subscribed, do so now, to join a community striving to live ancient wisdom in a modern age. The journey is ongoing, the path unending, but every step taken with reason is a step toward freedom. To live the Stoic heart amidst the chaos of the modern world is not mere theory. It requires deliberate, practical action. The ancient therapy of the Stoics becomes alive through daily exercises, tools to train your mind, steady your emotions, and sharpen your virtue. Begin with the morning reflection. Before you rise, take a moment in stillness. Visualize the day ahead and the challenges you might face. Imagine possible frustrations, distractions, or conflicts. Prepare your mind to meet them with patience, courage, and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius began each day this way, reminding himself of the roles he would play and the virtues he must uphold. Next, practice the art of journaling. Write honestly about your thoughts and actions each evening. What did you do well? Where did you falter? What emotions ran wild? How could you respond better next time? This simple habit fosters self-awareness and continuous improvement, the heart of Stoic growth. In moments of distraction, when your phone buzzes or your mind drifts, pause, breathe deeply. Ask yourself, is this worthy of my attention? Does this serve my purpose? This tiny interruption can reclaim hours of wasted focus and ground you in the present. When anger or frustration rises, try the pause. Count to 10, breathe slowly, and recall the Stoic principle. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Respond not from impulse but from reasoned choice. For desires, practice voluntary discomfort. Skip a meal, turn off screens for a day, take a cold shower, or limit luxury. These small austerities build resilience and remind you that true happiness does not depend on external comforts. In relationships, cultivate empathy by asking, what pain or fear might lie behind this person's words or actions? Practice listening more than speaking, and offer kindness even when it is not returned. Set boundaries with the modern world. Schedule times for work, rest, connection, and solitude. Protect these with discipline, knowing that balance is the soil where virtue grows. Finally, embrace the practice of gratitude. Each night, list 3 things you are thankful for, no matter how small. Gratitude shifts your mind from scarcity to abundance, from complaint to acceptance. These exercises are not magic pills. They require effort, patience, and persistence. But like a muscle, your mind will grow stronger with use. Ask yourself now, which of these practices will I begin tomorrow? If these practical steps inspire you, share them with others seeking calm in the storm. And if you have not yet subscribed, do so now, to join a fellowship dedicated to living ancient wisdom every day. In the next chapter, we will explore how Stoic wisdom can guide you through crisis, be it personal loss, failure, or upheaval, and help you emerge not broken, but renewed. Stay with me, for this teaching may be your greatest salvation. Life will break you. This is not a threat, it is a certainty. Loss, failure, betrayal, illness, these storms arrive unbidden, tearing at the fabric of your world. The question is not whether you will face crisis, but how you will meet it. The Stoics taught that crisis is the greatest test of philosophy. It is easy to be calm in comfort, but true virtue is forged in fire. Seneca, who himself endured exile and political ruin, wrote letters urging strength in suffering. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. When crisis strikes, your mind may reel, your heart may break, your body may falter. But remember this, pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. You cannot always control what happens, but you can control how you respond. Imagine a mighty oak in a storm. The wind tears at its branches, but its deep roots hold firm. You too must root yourself in reason and virtue. Let grief wash over you like rain, but do not let it uproot you. First, accept reality as it is. Resist the urge to deny or fight what cannot be changed. Marcus Aurelius advised, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Next, seek meaning in suffering. What lesson does this crisis hold? What opportunity to grow, to practice patience, courage, or forgiveness? This does not minimize your pain but transforms it into fuel for your journey. Do not isolate yourself. The Stoics valued friendship and community as supports in dark times. Reach out, share your burden, let others help carry your weight. Maintain your daily practices. Reflection, journaling, meditation, these anchors will prevent you from drifting into despair. Remember Epictetus's words, no man is free who is not master of himself. Even when all else is lost, you can keep your mind free. Ask yourself, now, what crisis am I facing? How can I meet it with the strength of a Stoic? If these teachings speak to you, share them. Let others find hope in ancient wisdom. And if you have not subscribed yet, do so now to stand with a community that chooses resilience and clarity over despair. Many seek happiness in pleasures, possessions, or accolades, only to find these joys fleeting, unstable, and hollow. The Stoics teach that true joy is not found in external things but cultivated within, a joy born of reason, virtue, and harmony with nature. Consider joy as a deep wellspring beneath the shifting surface of life. Storms rage above, but the spring remains pure and constant, feeding all that lives. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. This is no empty platitude. It is a radical claim that your happiness depends on your mind, your choices, your character, not on fortune or circumstance. How does one cultivate this joy? First, embrace virtue as your highest good. Wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance are the pillars upon which lasting fulfillment rests. Each choice you make in accordance with these virtues builds your inner citadel. Second, live in harmony with nature. Not just the natural world, but human nature and the flow of life itself. Accept that change is constant. Welcome it as the river welcomes stones and leaves, shaping them into the current. Third, practice gratitude. Recognize every moment, every breath, every relationship as a gift. Gratitude transforms scarcity into abundance and complaint into praise. Imagine a traveler who, after a long and difficult journey, finds a quiet garden. There is no treasure here, only the simple peace of blooming flowers and the song of birds. Yet the traveler feels joy deeper than any gold could bring. True joy arises when you align your will with the world's order, accepting what you cannot change, acting justly where you can, and nurturing the wisdom to know the difference. Ask yourself, what virtues will I cultivate today? How can I align my desires with what is truly good? If this teaching stirs your heart, share it. Let others drink from this well of ancient wisdom. And if you have not yet subscribed, do so now. Not for fleeting trends, but for timeless truths that nourish the soul. No man is an island, and even the strongest Stoic knows the power of connection. The Stoics taught that friendship and community are essential pillars of a well-lived life, not distractions from virtue, but vital supports upon which it grows. Seneca, writing to his friend Lucilius, called friendship a sheltering tree, a place of refuge from life's storms. True friends challenge us to be better, hold us accountable, and share in both joys and sorrows. Imagine a lone traveler walking a harsh and winding path. The journey is difficult, but when companions walk beside him, their shared strength makes every step lighter, every burden more bearable. But friendship is not about pleasing others or avoiding conflict. It is a sacred bond grounded in honesty and mutual growth. A true friend will speak truth even when it is hard to hear. As Epictetus said, associate with those who will make a better man of you. In community, we find mirrors reflecting our virtues and flaws. We learn patience when others irritate us. We practice kindness when others suffer. We experience justice when fairness prevails among us. In a world that often promotes isolation and division, the Stoic reminds us to seek fellowship, not merely for comfort but for challenge and growth. Ask yourself, who are the companions on my journey? How do I nurture these bonds? Are you the kind of friend you seek? If this truth resonates, share it. Build your own circle of strength and wisdom. And if you have not yet subscribed, join now to become part of a community walking together toward clarity and peace. Leadership, like life, is a trial by fire. It demands strength, not only of body, but of character, courage, justice, and humility. The Stoics understood that true leadership serves others, governs the self first, and stands firm amid chaos. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire while facing war, plague, betrayal, and personal loss. Yet he never forgot the Stoic ideal. A leader is a servant to the common good, not a tyrant of personal gain. Courage is the foundation. The leader must stand resolute when fear whispers retreat. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters. In leadership, you carry the weight of others' fates, yet you must keep a calm heart and steady mind. Justice demands fairness and integrity. It means judging without favoritism, acting not for reward but for what is right. Seneca warned against the corruption of power, urging leaders to remember their mortality and vulnerability. Humility is the shield against arrogance. Recognize your limits, listen to counsel, admit mistakes. A proud leader falls swiftly. A humble leader earns lasting respect. Imagine a captain steering a ship through stormy seas. The waves threaten to overturn the vessel, but the captain's steady hand on the wheel, eyes fixed on the horizon, guides the crew safely home. Leadership is not about glory or control. It is about responsibility and service. It is the highest test of virtue. Ask yourself, how can I lead in my own life? With courage, justice, and humility. Whether in a family, workplace, or community, leadership begins with mastering yourself. Life's blows are inevitable. Loss, failure, rejection, they come like relentless waves crashing against the shore. Yet the shore endures. It does not break but absorbs, reshapes, and stands firm. Resilience is the Stoic's shield against despair. It is not mere stubbornness, but a profound strength born from acceptance, discipline, and hope. Epictetus taught that external events are beyond our control, but our responses lie wholly within us. It's not what happens, but how you react that matters. This is the heart of resilience. Mastering your mind so that no misfortune can shatter your inner peace. Seneca, forced into exile and stripped of wealth, wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Each hardship is a workout for the soul, an opportunity to grow stronger. Imagine a blacksmith hammering iron. Each strike shapes the metal, making it tougher, more useful. So too your trials temper your character. How do you cultivate resilience? First, embrace reality without complaint. See challenges as natural parts of life, not cruel punishments. Second, maintain your daily disciplines, reflection, reason, moderation to keep your foundation solid. Third, remember your purpose, the why that fuels you when the how seems impossible. In moments of despair, pause, breathe. Remember that you have faced storms before and survived. You are not defined by your falls, but by how you rise. Ask yourself, what challenge have I faced that made me stronger? How can I meet the next with courage? If this teaching strengthens you, share it with those struggling in their storms. Gratitude is often overlooked in the rush of life, yet it is one of the most profound therapies the Stoics offer to heal a troubled mind and bring clarity. It is not mere politeness or fleeting thanks, but a deep, deliberate recognition of all that sustains you, even amid hardship. Seneca wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." Gratitude roots you in the present and shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from complaint to acceptance. Imagine a traveler walking through a barren desert. Every drop of water, every shade of tree becomes a precious gift. So too in life, when you cultivate gratitude, even small blessings become sources of joy and strength. Gratitude does not deny pain or struggle. Instead, it transforms suffering by illuminating what remains unbroken: health, breath, reason, friendship, the chance to grow. Practice gratitude daily. Upon waking, acknowledge 3 things you appreciate. Before sleep, reflect on moments of kindness or learning from the day. When difficulties arise, seek the lesson hidden within. This practice builds a mind resilient to despair, clear in perspective, and rich in peace. Ask yourself, what can I be grateful for right now? How can gratitude change my view of today's troubles? Ambition is the flame that ignites human endeavor. It propels us toward achievement, greatness, and the fulfillment of our potential. Yet ambition, like fire, can warm or consume. When unchecked, it devours peace, blinds the mind, and shatters the soul. The Stoics understood this peril intimately. Seneca warned, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." The endless desire for more, the relentless hunger for wealth, status, or praise, leads only to dissatisfaction and inner poverty. True success, the Stoics taught, is measured not by what the world bestows, but by the character you cultivate. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and philosopher, counseled himself, "Do every act of your life as if it were your last." This radical mindfulness transforms ambition from a frantic chase into a sacred journey where every step matters, where each choice reflects your deepest values. Before embarking on any quest, know your destination clearly. What does success mean to you? Is it wealth, power, recognition, or is it a life lived with integrity, courage, justice, and wisdom. The Stoics urge you to root ambition in virtue, not in fleeting externals. Imagine a tree growing not toward the highest mountain peak, but toward the nourishing sunlight and fertile soil. Its strength lies in the roots it buries deep in the earth, steadfast principles that hold firm through storms. Ask yourself, what values will anchor my ambition? What virtues will guide my choices? Write them down. Return to them often. Many fall into despair chasing results beyond their reach. A business may fail despite your best efforts. A relationship may end. A plan may be upended by forces unknown. Epictetus teaches, don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will go on well. Focus your energy on what lies within your control, your effort, your attitude, your discipline. Let go of attachment to external outcomes, which are subject to chance and the will of others. Practical exercise. Before beginning any major task, remind yourself, I will do my best, but I cannot control the rest. This mindset frees you from anxiety and bitterness, leaving only your virtuous action. Ambition can pull you into dangerous waters if unchecked. It can consume your health, your relationships, your peace of mind. Like a sailor steering a ship across unpredictable seas, you must hold your course with steady hands, adjusting to winds and currents without losing sight of your true north. Schedule regular rest. Protect your relationships with care and honesty. Nourish your body and mind. Remember that no victory is worth the cost of your soul's destruction. Reflect. Am I sacrificing what matters most for what seems urgent? Rebalance when needed. Consider Admiral Horatio Nelson, who achieved great victories by focusing on clear objectives, brave decisions, and steadfast resolve, yet remained deeply connected to his crew and cause. He understood that leadership and ambition were service, not selfish gain. Or look to a modern entrepreneur who pursues innovation with passion but sets boundaries to safeguard family and health, ensuring success does not come at unbearable personal cost. Ambition is like a flame, warm and illuminating when tended well, but destructive if allowed to rage unchecked. The Stoic seeks to be like the phoenix, rising anew from each challenge, renewed, tempered by fire but never consumed. Failures and setbacks are part of this cycle. Not endings, but opportunities for transformation. What virtues will I cultivate to anchor my ambition? How will I focus on my effort and release attachment to results? Where must I set boundaries to protect my soul? Freedom. What is it, truly? In a world filled with rules, obligations, and unpredictable forces, freedom can seem like a distant dream, a fleeting luxury reserved for the few. Yet the Stoics teach that true freedom is not the absence of external constraints, but mastery over one's own mind. Epictetus, once a slave, declared, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Despite chains or circumstance, he found a liberty within that no tyrant could steal. External freedom, money, status, mobility, is fragile, often beyond our control. But internal freedom, freedom from passion, fear, and false judgment, is a fortress no one can breach. Imagine a bird in a gilded cage. Though the bars are golden, it is not free. But a bird with clipped wings, sitting quietly on a branch, may find freedom in acceptance and peace. The Stoics guide us to cultivate this inner liberty through reason and virtue. By choosing how we respond to events, we claim freedom in every moment. They teach us to distinguish between what is up to us, our thoughts, choices, actions, and what is not, the opinions of others, the outcomes of events, the past and future. By focusing only on what we control, we release ourselves from the chains of worry and frustration. Consider a prisoner who, despite captivity, holds fast to dignity and reason, turning inward to find peace that no cell can confine. Ask yourself, where in my life am I truly free? Where do I feel enslaved by fear, desire, or false judgment? How can I reclaim freedom within? If this teaching frees a part of your mind, share it. Help others discover their inner citadels of freedom. The future is a shadowy realm, a land without maps. It is uncertain, unpredictable, and often feared. Yet the Stoics saw uncertainty not as an enemy, but as a natural part of life's fabric, a canvas upon which we paint our virtue. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do." Acceptance of uncertainty is not resignation, but the art of aligning your will with nature's flow. Imagine a sailor setting out on the open sea. The winds may shift, storms may gather, the horizon may vanish in fog. Yet the sailor does not despair, but adjusts the sails, steadies the helm, and trusts in skill and reason. Uncertainty tests your courage. It demands resilience and flexibility. It calls you to act without guarantees, to make decisions in the fog. Practical advice: when facing uncertainty, Focus on what you can control, your choices, your effort, your attitude. Prepare as best you can, but accept that outcomes may differ from expectations. Visualize uncertainty as a river's current. You cannot stop the flow, but you can learn to swim with it, using its power to carry you forward rather than dragging you under. Ask yourself, what unknowns in my life cause fear or hesitation? How can I meet them with courage and calm? You have traveled far through these ancient halls of wisdom. You have faced the storms of others' cruelty, the weight of grief, the chains of desire, the phantom of fear, the fire of anger. You have built daily disciplines and stood before the final liberator, death itself. Now all these lessons gather like stars forming constellations in the night sky, guiding you to a new horizon, a life healed, a mind clarified, a soul at peace. Imagine a vast forge, its flames glowing eternal. Into this fire you have cast your old doubts, your wandering fears, your scattered desires. From the heat, your spirit is reshaped, stronger, purer, tempered by trials yet unbroken. This is the ancient therapy of the Stoics, a fire that burns away confusion and pain, leaving clarity and strength in its place. The troubled mind is like a wild forest ablaze, filled with smoke, shadows, and broken branches. The Stoic path is the steady hand of the gardener, clearing the underbrush, planting new seeds, watering the roots. The fire of wisdom does not destroy the forest but renews it, making it ready to grow toward light once more. Each therapy you have learned is a tool in this sacred work. The shield of your own judgment protects you from the arrows of others. The medicine of acceptance teaches you to walk through loss with grace. The taming of desire frees you from endless craving. The conquest of fear brings boldness. The discipline of anger turns wildfire into warmth. Daily practice sharpens your soul like a blade, and acceptance of death crowns your freedom with peace. This is not magic. It is labor. It is courage. It is patience. It is love for yourself and for the life you are given. Ask yourself now, what kind of life will I choose? One ruled by chaos and pain, or one ruled by reason and virtue? The choice is yours. Each moment is a crossroad, each breath an opportunity. The Stoics invite you not to a doctrine, but to a way of living, a continuous therapy for the mind, a practice to clear away the shadows and bring forth the light. Share this path with others who seek healing. Build a community of the strong and clear-minded. And if you have not yet subscribed, join now, not to follow blindly, but to walk beside others, striving for the same freedom. Before you go, reflect deeply. What is one fear, desire, or anger I will face differently tomorrow? Write it down, speak it aloud, begin the work anew. And if you wish to dive deeper, to walk further on this road, the next video will open doors to even greater Stoic teachings, lessons capable of transforming your life beyond what you now imagine. Watch it, let it challenge you, let it inspire you. The journey is long, the path steep, but the rewards are a mind healed, a soul clarified, and a life truly free. Go now with courage, go now with wisdom. The ancient therapy awaits you. Thank you for walking this path with me. If you found strength here, please like this video and subscribe for more timeless wisdom. Your journey has just begun.